Are we live? It's so fascinating. So we're actually streaming to 30 different apps. We're on Dropbox, Hulu. Mm-hmm. We're on our MySpace. We're on even your space.
We are on all of it. We are on America Online.
America Online. Keyword hot dog.
A hot dog.
It was not easy getting that from Oscar Mayer.
You've got Dogcast.
You've got a Dogcast. Says
So,
we're live now.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
This is so sudden.
Here.
I just don't understand what's going on.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Welcome to another episode of Hair of the Dogcast.
Which is sure to be bountiful and semi-entertaining. Thanks for joining us. I'm one of your hosts. My name's Tom, and I'm here with this guy.
Hi, I'm not Tom.
Hey.
But I am Brad, and this will surely be a bountiful podcast.
Bountiful.
Energy levels are
Through the roof.
Through the roof today.
Skyrocketed in flight or something like that.
Yeah.
We want to apologize. We're missing our big bald buddy here. What's going on? Oh, my God.
I'm just tuning into
sound
I want to tune into
horrendous.
Hair of the Dogcast. I'm tuning in.
You ever watch those Hair of the Dogcast boys?
Never live before.
They have no idea what they're talking about.
They look pretty cute.
Ever. But, yeah, we are sans Josh this evening. He's out on assignment. We wish him well. He's going to come back with a whole lot of stuff. I think he's actually working, and I think he's doing an Eagle Park Tap takeover or something tonight. So
Yeah, there's always a lot of good beer wherever Josh is at.
yeah,
But we did what we could to get some beer here.
it's true.
Because we are video games and beer, and
Is that what we do?
That's and you say beer and video games.
That's right, people. As you know, Hair of the Dogcast is a podcast about beer and video games and beer, and we drink this actual liquidy goodness on this podcast as we
beer.
talk and jib and jab about things like games and more games and stuff. So,
Tom, you explain this beer.
we're starting with the Founders Cerise. This last week, I was actually in Grand Rapids, Michigan, at the Founders Brewery, and they have a select amount of beer that they only sell at their tap room, and I decided to buy it. It was the only one they had that I could take with me. So here we go. It's supposedly a cherry field and fruit beer, according to beer ratings.
A wild beer.
Yeah, it's from part of the Mothership series.
It's got a pretty color.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a nice summer beer, I guess. I don't know. These cherry beers are kind of hit or miss for me, so let's go try it out.
Cheers.
We encourage you to try it along with us right now.
Wow, that wasn't what I was expecting.
That's not bad. Usually this shit's like really tart.
Yeah.
This is not tart. What were you expecting?
I don't know.
The
Whenever I
Spanish
hear
Inquisition?
fruit beers are usually to me always kind of tart sour bombs. Mm-hmm. This one's a nice little sweet beer.
Yeah.
It doesn't say too much on the label what kind of beer it is. So
No, this is like the generic, hey, fucking, we don't know if this beer is going to take off, so let's just put a generic label on it kind of thing. So my initial take is, yeah, okay.
I want to drink it.
Okay. It's going to be gone very soon. So, Brad, how you doing, man?
I'm very exhausted. I've had a very.
You've been on adventures.
I've been on adventures. Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
It's fair to say. Brad Ventures. I usually have Tuesday through Thursday off, but I help my buddy on the Hidden Kitchen food truck, and we
Living the food truck life.
live in the food truck life. Yeah,
It's
yes.
a food truck life
For
us.
Brad.
It's a food truck.
Yeah, it was a little tenuous and strenuous and stressful and blissful, and
Sure.
but we made it, and I got done a little while earlier today, and Tom said we should podcast tonight,
Yeah.
and I said, yeah, okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
For doing this, because
You're
I know
so-
you're
you're
just
so
so
welcome.
tired, doing things, handing people street tacos off of a food cart, making hot dogs,
Yeah,
steaming all the buns.
we call them the hair of the dogs, is what we call our hot
Steamer.
dogs.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
So that's what I've been up to. I haven't done too much gaming lately. How have you been?
I've been okay. I've been traveling the Midwest all the way 80 miles across the pond here, this Lake Michigan. Spent like last week back in.
I'm in Michigan. I'm across the pond.
Yes, I was in Michigan. It was great. I had some bangers and mash.
Go on,
God,
clean your
I
chimney.
can't do a fucking accent to save my life.
I thought yours was better than mine.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Anytime.
So, otherwise, I'm doing all right. I was very, very tired last week, worked a lot of hours, but now, being home this week, I am doing fine, Celebrated another year around the sun earlier this week.
Tom, it was your birthday.
It was. We didn't really talk about them too much. I just wanted to acknowledge that did happen, and I'm still alive.
Yeah. Dude, you've had lots of birthdays, haven't you?
I've had a few. I'm no stranger. Let's just put it that way. So, it's good.
A little update on all of the videos, the interviews from the MGC.
Yeah.
Most of them are out. We're still expecting some real bangers. I'm
Yeah.
doing a little extra work for the Gaming Off the Grid, 900 subscribers. Major congratulations to you, homies. That's very exciting.
Yeah, congrats.
We love you.
Freaking awesome.
And of
Well
course,
deserved.
we're gonna have Wittenhagen and JP's.
Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston, that'd be cool. JP
that'd be a hot scoop if we could get her.
that'd be something.
She's got the stuff that you want. She's got the thing that you need.
And she's not alive.
Yeah. She has everything but that.
Yeah,
Damn,
and
Bobby
of course
Brown.
the Walter Day podcast, which
Yeah.
I haven't. That's the one that I'm saving for last for editing because there's going to be a lot of strange.
I don't think you should even edit that one.
No, trust me.
I
There's
think
some
people should hear it in its entirety.
maybe
We love you, Walter.
we
Your words of wisdom must be shared with the world. Hey, Courtney. Yo.
Hey,
what's
Mike.
up?
Yo,
Yeah, that's right. MySpace. What about it?
your space.
It happens.
So that's a little update, and then we'll,
Yeah, but nice job on the videos.
Thank you.
Check them out on YouTube. We'll be dropping the audio probably next week-ish for the first batch.
Which is it's taken a while longer. I hadn't edited in like 8 or 9 years, so
That's all right.
It was a new app.
You want people to be allowed to digest what you don't want to just vomit them all out because then people are just like too much choice. It becomes like an old country buffet. You just don't know what to go to. Do I go to the chocolate fountain right away? Do I get the mashed potatoes? Is that Golden Corral?
The chocolate fountain.
I don't know.
I don't care where you're going to buffet. You're like, do I go to the chocolate fountain first? And
Which
the
is my
answer-
personal favorite.
I mean, you're gonna go at least a couple times. Doesn't matter when.
Yeah, but always grab a new plate. And I want to give a shout out to Howard Phillips. He shared our interview with him today, so that was really cool. Thanks, Howard. Yeah, that was a fun interview. Enjoyed it.
That's kind of I think what we've been up to lately. Have you been doing any gaming recently? I think you have.
I have. I've been trying to play a couple things here and there. I took my Xbox with me when I went across the pond. I didn't have a lot of time to play.
How do you
it.
travel? Is it in the airplane?
How do I travel?
Do you take an airplane over? Or you take a boat?
I took an SUV.
You drove there.
I drove there. Yeah.
Okay,
So-
it's like an 8-hour drive from here, something like that.
To Grand Rapids?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never.
No,
done
it's
it.
actually it's about 4.5.
Oh, that's
it's
not bad.
faster than flying
Okay.
because you can't get a direct flight, or you can take the ferry,
So
which
you're-
I should have done.
I've never done that. I'd like to do
I haven't either. I think we podcast from Founders. Maybe we should take the ferry over.
Hashtag
They have a
found
snack,
us.
They have a snack bar on the ferry.
A snack bar on the ferry.
It's true.
And so you take your Xbox with you, and you were.
So, yes.
I'm guessing you're still playing Assassin's Creed.
You have guessed. Yes, you have guessed. Wisely.
Have you got all the feathers and the treasure chests?
Dude, so here's my thing. I'm at a point in my gaming period this year where I don't know what I should be playing. I don't even know if I should be playing anything. I think my body just doesn't want to play. Like, it just wants to take a break from games, but I can't. So I've just been playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I downloaded like the expansion packs for it. I went all in. I did the same thing with the Origins last year. But I swear to God, between this Odyssey and Origins, I played probably, I don't know, at least maybe 150, 160 hours between both those games in
Yeah.
a period of like, 10 months.
Yeah.
So, and but I still continue to do it, and I can't say I'm not enjoying it. I do like those games.
I love those
lot.
games too. Even
We might talk about one of them a little bit later.
even Assassin's Creed 3 and Unity and Syndicate. A lot of them had some. I guess I didn't play them initially upon release, so I guess I got maybe some of the fixed.
You were too young.
The fixed bugs versions. Yes,
Sure.
I was too young, but
Yes.
even. I mean, they haven't really shaken anything. Changed
Like a baby.
they haven't changed too much in the
Like
formula.
a Polaroid picture.
But I guess I haven't seen Origins or Odyssey, so maybe they did
Oh, I
mix
was
up
gonna
a few
say.
things.
Okay. Yeah, we can talk about this. The new formula for the Assassin's Creed games is significantly different than the old formula, where it's just the old Assassin's Creed games were, mission. It had a mission structure where you basically just followed the missions to the end of the game. Now they're open world role playing games, basically like The Witcher, just maybe a more, I want to say, arcadey version of The Witcher, more gameplay friendly, and I don't know, like I really like that style of game, the open world kind of 3D, or third person open world games, like Red Dead and
Shadow
Assassin's
of
Creed.
Mordor.
But it's just so, it's just, you can just zone out. I can zone out and listen to like podcasts such as the Gilbert Gottfried's Amazing Colossal podcast, which I just listen to a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Pretty
good.
good.
Shout out to Gilbert Gottfried. I don't know why. I don't know. Do you guys listen to that shit? I don't know.
He's got a voice for radio podcasts.
He does. He
Yeah.
does. And so, yeah, it's one of those games. I can't tell you what the story really is. That is one thing that's kind of like hurt. I think it's hurt the series for a long time.
Yeah.
Is the story is just like, what? Incomprehensible. But even I've played so many of those games where I can kind of follow it, even though I don't know what's going on.
They really need to abandon the modern, because I guess they kind of
did.
have done that. Because
Pretty much.
all those
It's
original
just
ones. Every time you were Desmond, I was like, can we just get back?
Pretty much. Yeah.
I
Every
was
time.
a cool talking Italian dude who's like getting all the ladies, and now I'm Desmond.
Yeah.
In a cave.
Now, every time you go to the future, I mean, there are still some of those segments, but they're very small, and you can tell the people that had to work on those segments are just like, God damn it.
Yeah.
I don't know, they must have like did something wrong at the company, and they've been banished to, okay, you can work on Assassin's Creed, but you have to do the present day. No.
They should. I would kill to have an Assassin's Creed set in like 1995.
That'd be great.
Wouldn't that be an interesting take on it?
the
Climbing
problem-
skyscrapers?
It'd be awesome.
You'd have to do it before, even with the drone thing. You could set it, hey, Call of Duty, like 50 years in the future, which I'm not condoning, but you could do it.
You are condoning this.
I've never played it.
Yeah, but you should. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm in.
Okay, great. But I agree. I think they should lead up to doing a present or a modern day or somewhat modern day. The 90s would be cool, or like a Gulf War, kind of setting.
Yeah.
Something like that. But I think the problem is
The mission where you actually interact with Hitler, like
Huh? Yeah. Take that, Wolfenstein.
Assassin's Creed 3, I thought was actually pretty good. Hanging out with George Washington.
Yeah.
Is that one of the games?
So
Segue.
here we go.
I guess the topic we kind of wanted to talk about tonight was the expectations that we have for games before we play them. Games that are super hyped, games that we had no expectations for, games that let us down, or games that surprise. It's just kind of what you expect before you go into a game and what happened afterwards.
Yeah. Speaking of Assassin's Creed 3, if I may.
Yeah, let's do it.
That was part of the season pass for Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That did come out a couple weeks ago. I played about 5 minutes of it, and it looks nice. It's like the remastered, redone version.
Okay.
So I need to dig into that a little more. That game has a heck of a lead-in before you can actually do some assassinating.
I was very disappointed for all the 13-year-old wandering the woods sections.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
But this one, it actually, I forgot it starts actually in the present day. So I haven't even gotten back to the.
Then
Revolutionary
they
War.
take it away.
And then they take it away right away. But I was like, oh, I just kind of wanted to jump in. I guess I was kind of spoiled, but
Too many games have the opening tutorial or 2-hour sequence before you can actually start having fun.
yeah, that one was rough.
So we opened another beer.
Brad, what are we drinking?
This is from Fair State Co-op, which is in Northeast Minneapolis. Used to live close by there. Love Fair State. Love your beers.
Yeah.
And this is a Hibiscus Sour. It's called Roselle.
Ooh,
Sour hibiscus beer, fruity, tart,
similar
floral.
color to our last beer, Brad.
It is. I thought we'd get the sour beers through before we start hitting the big boys.
Oh God,
Yeah, and we will.
this might be a bad idea. It's all a good idea. Never mind.
Speaking of expectations, it's exactly what I thought it would be.
This is a little more on point. What I thought the last beer was going to be.
Yeah,
Yep.
I love me a fruity sour, and Fair State always delivers.
Fair State.
Fair State?
Yes, from the fairest and most northern state of them all, Minnesota, the land of 10,000 lakes.
10,000 of them.
10,000.
My buddy used to keep
Exactly.
a notebook when we would be driving through the Twin Cities, and he'd always write down all the lakes he saw. And he's like, I don't think there's 10,000 of them. I'm like,
I've only seen 3.
he kept count.
Yeah,
I don't know how many we got to, but
you got some really cool friends.
yeah, thank you.
I just wanted you to know that.
Are you hyping yourself? That's a strange flex. Your friends have great beards, Tom.
Yeah, don't they? Except that one. He's got a lot of tattoos. I think Stanley Kubrick is really great. I don't know who that is.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, so that's my Assassin's Creed hot take, and that is what I'm playing. And I'm really enjoying it. I'm also playing another game, Brad.
2 games?
And I don't know if our listeners and our dear watchers are playing this game too. It came out not too long ago. It's called Sekiro from Software.
I've heard
The
and
makers
seen a
of
lot
Dark
it.
Souls.
It's from the same people that made Dark Souls.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is a different game than Dark Souls. And you know what? I don't know. I love Dark Souls. I love me some Dark Souls. Played them all. Finished almost all of them. And Bloodborne. Love Bloodborne. It's great. So I'm like, all right, I got a samurai game. Yeah, this is what I want. It is so different. And I don't know if I like it.
Yeah.
But I feel like I need to like I'm making myself try to like this game. I do have some fun playing with it, but playing
Yeah.
playing with it, and I don't know what I'm doing.
We can't
But-
talk about that on the podcast.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Okay. But yeah, so I'm playing it, and my brain just thinks I'm playing a Dark Souls game, and this is a totally different playing
style.
play style.
Yeah.
Where, Dark Souls games and to a point Bloodborne, everything is kind of deliberate. It's about blocking. It's about, finding the right spot to hit your enemies and managing your stamina, so you don't break your, your parrying ability. And where Sekiro is just, you need to get up in people's faces, slash away.
Yeah.
But you have to block. It's all about, it's as much about blocking as it is striking. And you can break your enemy's posture as they're hitting you. And then that allows you to create an opening where you can kill the enemy. And it is fucking just I'm starting to get the hang of it a little bit, and I've been playing it since the day it came out, which was a couple months ago. And there's people who just beat this game multiple times. There's somebody that apparently beat this game playing with a pair of Donkey Kong bongos, and I'm just flailing, trying to. Oh God, no!
All right.
Oh, we're gonna get to that. But anyway, so I wanted to bring up Sekiro because. First of all, I don't know if I should be liking this game. I think it looks amazing, and I can't stop playing it, but I can only play it in short bursts. But I wanted to say, have you ever had games where you may have had an expectation, Brad, of whether it was going to be good or bad, and said game either fell way above that expectation or well below?
Yeah, I got a whole bunch.
That's
of
weird that you
games
just
here.
brought a whole bunch of games like that.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah.
I want to use the other segue that you set me up for.
Sure.
Because you mentioned Donkey Kong bongos.
Who would have thunk?
And
This was not planned, by the way.
yeah, I have brought Donkey Konga. Donkey Konga. Huh. So I was always a. That's not
Tim Allen.
the Donkey Konga, the Tim Allen hidden character.
I played that game.
I always liked the rhythm games. I always liked Dance Dance Revolution and Guitar Hero. I dabbled in Rock Band and broke the kick pedal pretty quick.
Sure.
And Donkey Konga
You
came
monster.
out, and I said, sure, yeah, Nintendo will probably put out something fun. Their games are pretty solid. So I went in expecting a game of something, a game of some fun.
Yeah.
And instead I got the shittiest covers of Rock Lobster and Zero Challenge. And a bongo controller that they tried to say, like, we're going to make more games for it. And they did make some super shitty Donkey Kong side-scroller with it. But
Nintendo broke their word?
I'm still happy to have a pair of bongo controller, because what the heck?
You know, I had never felt a bongo controller until this last Midwest Gaming Classic when I walked by one. I'm like, I just want to, what does this feel like? And then I just tapped it lightly and I was like, oh, this actually feels okay. I thought it was going to be like, I don't know, feel cheaper. But so what you're saying is perhaps Donkey Konga fell a little short
It fell short.
of what you had in mind.
I
The concept
expected
sounds fine.
I expected it to be fun, and
Yeah.
I had almost no fun. I had a scowl on my face, and I was playing through some upbeat cover music. It was all cover music, which was a problem. That, and there was no challenge.
Yeah.
But
So you were angry there was covered music?
I wanted
You just wanted
I
straight
wanted
up, like-
original songs. I
Okay.
like the original versions.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
like the first Guitar Hero where everything was covers of the songs.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
I forgot.
But really good covers. I was always impressed by what they did.
Yeah. I did like Guitar Hero 2.
Oh!
Guitar Hero 2, oh my goodness.
Please, set it right up there. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you Guitar Hero 2.
Guitar Hero 2. So there was hype for this game because people like Guitar Hero
Mad
1.
hype.
Mad hype. This was the peak. Guitar Hero 3, I guess it maintained the peak through 2 into 3, and that's when it fell off after 3.
3 was,
It was still getting bigger.
what's it, Legends of Rock or whatever it was.
This was
With the wireless
This was
guitar?
when I was in my first year of college. I was a semester. I went for engineering. I went to class for maybe a week or two.
Sure.
The whole semester.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Good for you. I'm glad you made something of yourself.
I was the guy who knew how cool he was because he could play Guitar Hero 2 on Expert.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Take that, Freebird.
To everyone listening, if my family's here, not a story for you maybe. First time I took mushrooms.
Oh!
Oh, yes. I wound up beating Guitar Hero 3 start
Gather
to
round,
finish. Start to finish while I was coming down in front of like 10 people. And it's probably the closest I got to being Jimi Hendrix. I had a small crowd and everyone just like watching me.
Were you wearing like a headband and then you put some like LSD
Hopefully,
in addition
I
to
was
the mushrooms
wearing-
in your headband? So when you sweat, it just got in your eye and
Is that what he did?
yeah.
No, I hopefully still had pants on. Is
Okay.
about all I can say.
For everyone else's sake, I'd say.
I was in a tree for 2 hours that day. It was an adventure.
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
No, it was great. I wanted that. Yeah. Guitar Hero 2 lived up to expectations. Guitar Hero 3 lived up to expectations.
Yes.
And now every single thrift store, you can find your favorite Guitar Hero controllers. So
Yeah.
I do kind of want to pick one up.
A
'cause every
lot of
time
them will actually like turn them away. They're like, no,
we can't have anymore.
we no more, no more. And it's that just boggles my mind. The first Guitar Hero when that came out, nobody knew about it. I had seen it on some G4 Attack of the Show. I don't know if you ever watched G4.
Yeah.
It was a cable network. No longer
Whenever
around.
we got it, it wasn't always, but yeah.
And they demoed it on there, like the first Guitar Hero. I'm like, this looks kind of interesting. So I went to GameStop in a little town called Brookfield, and they had one copy. It was the day it came out, just one copy. It was like just up high on some shelf that you couldn't even see it. I'm like, there it is, big long box, and
You were the only one who could reach it in the whole place.
I was. That's how I got it.
Yeah.
That's how I got it. It was actually a really popular game. Just nobody could
Everyone else wanted it. They couldn't reach it.
Just the giant man.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and to see it come, just the next year, just to see how much that exploded. And I just remember telling friends like, you got to play this game, Guitar Hero. You have to play it. And they're like, wait, what? It comes with a guitar, like a real guitar? No, it's got buttons, but it feels like a guitar. And and now they're all in landfills because that popular music old rhythm game thing just fucking crested and boom.
If anyone has an extra controller, I'll pay for shipping. Just one. I don't want all of them. I would like to have
like
one.
the Les Paul that came with 3?
I'll take.
Because I like that one.
I'd take either. Is it a Fender in 2? I forget. I don't know guitar terms.
Is it ESP? I thought it was an Explorer.
Explorer.
Was that? Yeah.
I don't know.
It was like the white one.
You're the musician.
I think it was. I'm not sure.
I'm the food truck guy.
Third one was the Les Paul though.
Food trucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they even had DLC for like the Halo 2 Mjolnir mix that Steve Vai did. They had DLC which was coming out, which is kind of cool.
Interesting.
Do you have another game you'd like to talk about? I see a little stack over there.
I do. Yeah.
Is that a rhythm game?
If we're going to talk about rhythm games, I want to talk about one that I actually was like, I really like this game a lot. I don't know if any of you guys had a Dreamcast, but Samba De Amigo, probably the only game that ever sported maracas as the main method of interaction.
It is a maraca game.
I was going to find my maracas, but unfortunately they're in a closet
Morocco somewhere.
They're in Morocco.
You left them there.
Oh my God, that's crazy. And so talk about an acid trip of a game if you're actually paying attention to the video or the graphics. Little monkey jumping around. But this was all, as far as I could tell, original. You got the original artist songs, but it's a rhythm game where you're just like, you got to shake the maracas. It actually used like ultrasonic waves to figure out how high you had the maracas. You had to stand on a mat.
Ultrasonic waves.
Ultrasonic waves. Dude, this thing was like high tech. This thing
supersonic.
You could play this on the moon probably, maybe, if there were air for sound to travel. But
that'd be a fun topic. Which video games would work in space? Peripherals. Certain peripherals.
Which peripheral games?
I guess most of them probably would.
Donkey Konga.
That game doesn't work on Earth.
Well, there is that. But, having a Dreamcast, I saw this also maybe at a Babbage's. I'm like, what the fuck is this? It came in a big, like, colorful box. I'm like, I'll take a chance on it. And because who doesn't like maracas? And I played it, and I fell in love. And it became a great party game.
Yeah.
Just to watch people play it.
Rhythm games.
You have to strike poses,
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it gets pretty crazy, and you're just, yeah.
We got to find them. We got to find your maracas.
Yeah. When you're done playing this, you could like guide jet airliners into like their airport gates. That's kind of like how the gameplay plays. So yeah, Brad, are we going to go with a positive or a negative now?
Well, you had mentioned that you picked up a game that you really just didn't know anything about beforehand.
This one right here.
And there was a game that I had heard about, and I heard it was good. I didn't know anything about it, and it was a reasonably priced game, oddly enough, a game that didn't cost $1 million. I don't actually have the physical copy anymore.
Oh, God, Jesus.
I didn't bring the records, but this is the vinyl case. Katamari Damacy. It's also, I'd call a music game.
Hell yeah.
I love Katamari Damacy so much. That game is amazing, and zero expectations going into a game. And then all of a sudden, you are given this visual feast with the king of all cosmos and dancing pandas and rainbows and one of the catchiest tunes you'll ever hear. Na 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 na. Which the first time you hear that,
I think our viewers and our listeners need a little bit more of that.
Na 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 na
with conviction.
Na 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 na. So that actual vocal riff that you hear opening the game is the actual like first time the guy recorded it. I think it's like in an elevator. The creator.
Really?
Yeah, he just like kind of did a little recording of it, and it all was built off him just like having that little thought in his head. That was the first game he ever created. He's like an artist, and he had done like some weird sculpture and furniture or something. Sorry, viewers, we'll do a deep dive into Katamari another time because it is a fascinating story.
Our 60-part episode is coming.
What an amazing experience going into a game like that without knowing what it is. You're just all of a sudden rolling up erasers to the strangest Japanese jazz electronic music you've ever heard.
Yeah.
What a trip.
I remember when that game came out. I think this tip exemplifies a game that took everybody by storm, because even reading reviews of the game when it came out, people were like, what the fuck is this? And why is it so good?
Yeah.
What turned you onto it? What made you want to take a chance on it?
The price point, it was, I think I bought it when it was $20. It came out at $30.
Did you get it when it came out? Or?
I think it came out at $30, so I waited till the price dropped a little bit.
You cheap bastard.
I didn't know. It's one of those things, like, I didn't know what I was buying.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. I commend that.
Some impulse buying. But I had heard I think I read maybe EGM or GamePro or something that said, this game's pretty cool. Check it out. And I just wanted a new little adventure. And it became a big deal. When We Love Katamari came out in college, we would sing Everlasting Love. It is such a strange song, but we would just sing it all the time. And still obsessed with the soundtrack to this day. Yeah. And I haven't picked up the Switch version yet, but I really, really should. I just don't have time for gaming, so at this point, I don't want to. I should save money and play one of the 100 other games I have, but I'll get it eventually.
One day, Brad. I believe in you. I can say this and admit this right on the podcast tonight. It's a hot take. I have never played a Katamari game.
Boo.
It's true.
Here, finish that little bit at the bottom of your glass before I pour this. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
And since Josh isn't here, fun fact, if you didn't know, Josh is allergic to tequila. And I thought he was joking when he said it.
It makes his clothes fall
because
off.
I say I'm allergic to tequila whenever I'm out at the bars and that someone wants to do a tequila shot. You didn't, Tom, at the Midwest Gaming Classic, and we saw what happened.
No, I drank a lot of tequila. Thanks, Johnny Cage.
Thank you, Master Piscina.
A.K.A. Master Piscina.
Congrats to the Mortal Kombat guys for getting in the Hall of Fame.
Isn't that fucking awesome?
Well earned, well deserved, and we are fucking pumped for you guys.
Yeah, and for my last trip around the sun, I got this beautiful arcade one-up Mortal Kombat 2 cabinet for being alive yet. So I couldn't think of a better gift.
They're so cute.
Now I can just die.
They're so cute, those cabinets.
By getting my heart ripped out of my chest. Possibly my spinal cord ripped off my head. So Senior Bob,
Imperial Cream Ale Aged Tequila Barrels. It was a crowdsourced beer by my buddy Peter, and it was so popular we brought it.
You know the guy?
I know the guy.
Because I like this. This is no shit like one of my favorite Mobcraft beers.
Yeah, and it comes back. This time it's got a little more of the sweetness of the agave plant, and it is great.
Oh, it's new and improved? Is this like Coke 2?
No, this is OG Coke, okay. If anything.
All right.
Back in my day, we worked 20 hours. You actually had cocaine in your soda, okay? Things were different back then.
Those were the days.
You can smell the sweetness before you even drink it.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. It smells like a mariachi band.
I love it so much this year.
God damn it. Go get some, would you? Go get some.
Yeah.
Get some.
Get some.
Right now.
Tom, bring one of your big boxes up here to balance this Katamari Damacy record of mine.
Do we? Yeah.
I don't know.
Some feng shui?
Unless you have a better...
some feng shui going on.
If you have
I'd love to talk about big boxes.
Uh-oh.
All right. So, back in the Stone Age, before you could only download PC games, they came in boxes, right? This is a big box PC game. This is a game from Sierra. They were a game company that made adventure games. This is called Gabriel Knight 2, The Beast Within. I think it came out in like 96. So I was kind of a fan of adventure games at the time. And do you know what an adventure game is, Brad?
I played Riven, the sequel to Myst, a little bit. Is it kind of like that?
That's
point
garbage.
But is it kind of like?
But it's similar. So you're
point
solving
and click.
point and click. You're solving puzzles. You know, if you played recent games, there's kind of been a renaissance a bit of adventure games that have come out lately. Broken Age is one of them from Tim Schafer's studio. Yes.
Yes.
But this game is one of the few games that is actually a full motion video game that is actually pretty good. And I know it's good because I played it just a few years ago again, and I might be biased, but it holds up. The story just is really good. And I don't know if you've had a chance to play the Gabriel Knight series. If you're into adventure games at all, I would recommend going and playing these because the stories are actually really cool. They meld. It's almost like Neil Gaiman, if you're into him.
Have you read a lot of Neil Gaiman?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
We'll talk
big Neil
about that
Gaiman
on
fan.
the next podcast.
Yeah, so it kind of marries the real world with kind of supernatural. This one's about, it incorporates werewolves, being in Germany, Mad King Ludwig, and Richard Wagner, and it's awesome.
Is that late 1800s, early 1900s?
1800s. The game takes place in what the 90s in Germany, but it flashes back because there's like a mystery where a little girl gets killed, and the villagers come out saying like he was a werewolf, and you're Gabriel Knight, you're a Schattenjäger, a shadow hunter, and you're basically just an author, kind of womanizer.
My expectation on the box is I see some vampire teeth, and it says the beast within. So
Yes.
I'm imagining that the main character gets some powers. Because the beast is within him, or is it more of a...
No.
He has a beast inside of him that isn't a supernatural being.
None
of that.
You're just a normal dude. You're just a normal dude who has powers to fight shadows. Okay, you come from this the first game is really good as well. Gabriel Knight, Sins of the Father. They remade it a couple years ago. Probably can get it for like $5. It's really awesome. It takes place in New Orleans. All about voodoo, and you find out in that game that you come from a line of German shadow hunters, and you have the power to kind of, I don't know, I can't even remember. You have the power to like kill a shadow.
Speaking of
But
hunters,
it's good. Check it out.
I'm curious to check this out because I've heard of PC games and
The writing is phenomenal.
I've heard of big box games, and I've never seen them.
And I will
played.
say that the third game, Blood of the Sacred, Blood of the Damned, came out well before the Da Vinci Code.
That's on My Chemical Romance album, Blood of the Damned, I think.
Well, they must be fans of Sierra Adventure games.
Oh, okay.
But that came out years before the fucking Da Vinci Code, and it basically is like very similar.
Dan Brown, you heard it here first.
Yeah, I think Dan Brown
We're calling you out, Danny.
owes Jane Jensen some money.
I like hunting vampires and werewolves.
Yeah, let's talk about this because when you brought this game up, I was like, oh, hell yeah. Definitely on my list.
Yeah. Symphony of the Night was... That's not what we're talking about. That game was...
So good. One of my top games. On this
Transcendent.
podcast, I've said that's one of my top games of all time.
It still is. Yeah, definitely one of my top games, and I love
Top
all of
PlayStation
those,
game.
like that Metroidvania style. But I didn't have a 64 because the entire 64 system was a disappointment to me. But
Wow.
and
That's harsh, dude.
I know the Castlevania 3D ones on 64 were not good, and I played them. But they said we figured it out and we fixed it. We're going to have the Castlevania Lament of Innocence. It's the first one in the chronology. It is going to be as good. We got a lot of the same people working on it. And when Lament of Innocence came out, I saw the box and I was excited.
Yeah, you got to see that art.
It's got the
Same here.
tone. It looks right. And it
3D.
it took about 10 minutes of playing to feel that I don't know. And after just 30, 40 minutes, I haven't gotten any further. I've tried a few times. I've gotten maybe an hour or so in, but
Yeah.
it just never does anything for me.
I'm sorry.
games later that are similar, such as God of War or Devil May Cry,
Sure.
figured out that game space a little better.
And you're not a Lords of Shadow guy, at least the first one.
Lords of Shadow.
The Castlevania Lords of Shadow?
No. I've never played those.
Oh, okay.
No, as soon as they said they were in a different timeline and they were rewriting stuff. Not that I super care about the Castlevania lore, but
Yeah.
I do, but I don't.
That first one is okay because I think Kojima actually had a hand in some of that stuff. So it's all right.
Yeah.
But it kind of redeems what Lament of Innocence was going for. But same with you, man.
Yeah, you can always feel with the Castlevania franchise that they're trying to fix past mistakes. Like, oh yeah, well, this happened then, and we said that Dracula can only come back every so many years. So we've kind of hit all of them. So this one's just about a Belmont who's just a blacksmith, and he just doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah, what was his name? I mean, it was just like a nondescript.
This is the first one, and you find out a lot about who Dracula is.
I'm Steve Belmont.
Yeah, I mean, they should just have like the series between where it's just the Belmont who's a carpenter, and it's a carpenter simulator.
Yeah.
Because there was no Dracula for him to fight.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the series, but that was a major letdown.
That,
Soundtrack, still fire, if you care, soundtrack.
and that's how I kind of rationalized it in my head, like when I was buying it, because I might have heard before I even bought it. I'm like, I don't think this is going to be that great, but I'm like, hey, it's got to have awesome music. How can you go wrong? And I think it did. I don't remember much of it, but
It did, and I tried to. I put it in again recently. I'm like, I can play a bad game.
you can. Yeah.
But then I'm just sitting there kind of drunk, and I'm just like, I haven't played Suikoden in half a year. And it's there, and
Sure.
I'm playing this. It's that, and I'm playing this? And I said, no, that's it.
No, you're more than that. Sometimes you have to like bite the bullet and to say like, I'm better than this.
I'll just
And
listen to the soundtrack.
Absolutely. Well, since you're on a downer, I want to be on a downer too.
Okay.
Let's go with everyone's favorite game system, the Nintendo Wii. I give to you, ladies and gentlemen, Metroid, Other M.
You have Other M here. I didn't know you had that.
Oh, I do. Why are you smiling?
I have it too.
Oh, you do?
Not here, but I have the game, and my goodness, if I've never been so confused about what they were trying to accomplish.
Oh my God. If anyone could take a badass character and turn them into just like a whining, freaking over expositioned lady, I don't know. Okay, so everybody knows what Metroid is, right? Are we good? Are we on the same page?
Metroid's the star of the Metroid series.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Metroid.
just
It's
joking.
It's like Zelda is the protagonist of the Zelda games. Fuck you, CDI. So this game was contracted out to Ninja Theory, I believe, or no, whatever. Okay, I forgot what company it is. They don't even have it on the box. Jesus, come on, guys. So this is like a third-person, almost like Bayonetta. If you played Bayonetta or Devil May Cry version of Metroid, and I didn't think the actual gameplay was too bad. I don't know if you felt that way. I thought it had some clever moments, but it was not Metroid. And it was Samus, the protagonist. She's always like a badass lady. Never talked until this game. And they gave her a voice, and they wouldn't let her shut the fuck up.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just excruciating to listen to the dialogue.
Yeah.
And just the story was just ridiculous.
I remember going in wanting another Metroid Prime or another old school Metroid. Those are the two kinds of Metroids I understand.
Right.
Yeah.
The best Metroids.
And why would they it seemed like a real failed experiment.
It did. And I don't think it had a lot of buzz. I mean, a lot of positive buzz leading up to it, but people were, kind of open-minded, and as was I. I'm like, I'll play it, sure. I think this might be kind of okay. And oh God, no, stay away, or turn your volume down if you do play it.
Let's do another hunter of sorts.
All right.
We got Final Fantasy VII Dirge of Cerberus, or Kerberos, depending on how you want to pronounce it.
Care Bears?
Care Bears. The Dirge of the Care Bears.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And then Vincent blows their heads off. Yeah.
So we good or not good on this one?
I'm better than what the public thought.
Oh.
So
Oh,
rather
one of
than
these.
complete,
These are my favorite.
Rather than complete dog shit, I'm like, it wasn't that bad, but it wasn't good. Yeah, Square Enix was doing their weird compilation of Final Fantasy VII, which is mostly, I think, a colossal wet fart. And
Yeah.
it was very cool to see
Yeah.
the characters that I remembered in some like new glorious high definition ish graphics. The gameplay's wonky as all heck. Third person shooter.
Yeah. I always wondered about it. I never played it.
It's okay. It didn't do well in Japan, and they took off like the online capabilities that they were gonna have, which I guess probably didn't hurt the game because I don't think anyone would have played it online. There was some. Here I am still trying to rationalize that it's a good game.
We're here to talk. We're going to work through your feelings. Come
The
on.
story's terrible. It's taken what's bad about Final Fantasy and
Is it Final Fantasy X-2 terrible?
Dude, it just doubles down on how like the bad elements. It's like we're gonna put more of them in there.
Okay.
There's like the blue guy.
Voice acting?
Voice acting, yeah. The voice acting wasn't bad. That wasn't bad.
Okay.
I remember the gameplay not being terrible, and it was fun enough to where I beat the whole game, which I haven't beaten the whole game on some of these.
Right.
Yeah.
Was this a PSP game at one point?
This was a PS2. They had before Crisis.
Crisis Core.
Crisis Core. Before
Yeah,
Crisis was
okay.
a cell phone game.
Okay.
Oh goodness.
I couldn't remember. I knew there was another one.
Because there was AC, BC, CC, and DC. Advent Children.
Thunderstruck!
Then yeah. FF7 ACDC. That would have been the crossover no one wanted.
Oh, what would be Bon Scott or Brian Johnson?
I still don't know what to say about
Who do you
this
have in your
game.
party? I don't know.
The gameplay is good enough. The story and the characters the new characters are all terrible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does Eris come back?
She's always back, dude.
No.
They can, if they can have any excuse to just put her in like a little flashback or a side scene, might as well.
Yeah. Is it better than Advent Children?
Advent Children. Now, I have some mixed feelings on that movie. I've always thought there's a good movie hiding in there. If you just change all the subtitles to not be... I think that they fucked up some of the translation. Don't cry, little brother. And then he cries. It's like, what the fuck are these guys? I was very confused by Advent Children. And some of the action's good. I think that there's a good...
We're having a breakthrough here.
There's a good concept in that movie. I always wanted to do a fan edit where I kept the Japanese audio, but I just changed all the subtitles to what I wanted them to be.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you don't speak Japanese, it works.
Yeah.
And
To try that.
I thought there was an
I'd like a
opportunity.
cheeseburger too, Bob.
Don't cry, little brother. And then, yes, and then the translation they chose for Eris or Aerith, when she's talking to Cloud, she says, instead of like, why are you wasting your time in Japanese, she says, dilly dally, shilly shally. And it's Mina Savari. And I'm like, what?
In her prime.
It's, yeah. Strange enough, I met Rachel.
Fly
I met Rachel Lee Cook when I was working at an art center.
Oh, did you really?
I did.
She's my favorite heartthrob. Was she wearing glasses?
Yeah, so
then
she
she'd
didn't
take
look
them
attractive, but then I knew she was attractive.
She is all that.
I didn't ask her, but I always regret that I didn't ask her. It's like, what was it like to be Tifa? Because
She's like, who?
did you play the games for research? Instead, I'm like, so Freddie Prinze Jr., dude, pretty cool, huh? Yeah, Dirge of Cerberus.
Fuck yeah.
I guess I still have
Freddie
a
Prinze
soft
forever.
spot for this game. It's still pure. It's kind of garbage, but the gameplay's fun enough and it's novel enough. You don't see a lot of like weird third-person shooters, and I like what they tried to do, even if they failed. And their stories have always been a problem for me.
Yeah, I don't know what they're trying to do now. And I think just around that time, kind of Final Fantasy X era, I just kind of lost the plot a lot. Although I did like Final Fantasy X. I don't know why I just talked about it.
We can talk about them in a while, but I think you should do one.
Oh, Brad. It's my turn. Okay, let's do this. All right, let's go to another Nintendo system.
This is a podcast where we drink beer.
It is. And break shit.
Ooh, I've heard about this one.
So, the Nintendo GameCube, let's go back from the Wii. Let's go back in time when games were good. And this is Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem. Requiem? Requiem. You're an asshole.
Requiem.
Requiem.
You've been in the darkness too long.
Yeah, totally. So this might be my favorite GameCube game I've ever played. It was made by Silicon Knights, I believe. And it is kind of it plays like Resident Evil-ish, but you play as 12 or 13 different characters through the history of time who all encountered this Book of the Dead.
Oh my God. This concept sounds amazing. You play as 13 or 14 different characters throughout different time
I
periods.
said 12 to 13, you son of a bitch.
Whatever. But they're like different time frames.
Yeah, you start as a Roman centurion.
Do you do the whole thing through the Roman centurion and then the next character, or do you intercut between all of them?
You intercut, because there's a main common thread where you play this woman in modern day.
What the heck is this game?
It's great. I wish they would remake it. I think Nintendo has the rights, but it's just sitting on them. It's awesome. But so you play through all these different time periods. You're like a centurion, a monk. You're like a pharaoh. You're like a firefighter in the 90s or 80s, and everybody encounters this book. And not too much of a spoiler. Good things don't happen to anyone who encounters this. But there's a main thread where you're this woman in a mansion, and I had a crush on her back in the day. I thought the way her eyes looked after every chapter, she would finish a chapter.
Those GameCube graphics,
at the time,
the ladies look good, dude.
I'm like, yeah, it was good. But what this game did was you could lose your sanity, and when you lost your sanity, the game would fuck with you. So, for example, it would all of a sudden, show a volume bar on the screen, which looked like every TV's kind of volume bar back in the 2002 when this came out, and would just like go down.
17 years ago.
So yeah, it was a long time ago.
So the sanity bar.
Sanity bar, yep. And it would also splash graphics like now deleting your memory card, which actually looked like the GameCube, menu would just like pop up and
that's amazing.
Look like it's deleting your fucking all the files off your card.
Oh,
and there's nothing you could do about it.
And it knows what files are on your card, so it's able.
Yeah, it would show like all your saves. Because there's like little
terrifying
icons for every save that you have, and it would be like erased, and it was fucking cool. And there's so many more. It's been a while since I played the game. I would definitely, if anyone is collecting for the GameCube and wants to play a great game, do not hesitate. You need to start with it. Eternal Darkness needs to be in your collection.
Is there multiple ones? Or this is the only one?
Only one. They tried doing a spiritual successor.
Yeah.
But it failed. The Kickstarter kind of failed, and nothing happened. But this is like the one property I'm wishing they would just bring back because it was so good. This game is, I don't know if I think it's sold okay, but it is one of the most revered, GameCube titles. And it was one that I took a chance on. And I'm so glad I did because it still remains whenever anybody asks me, like, what are you playing? What's a good game to play on GameCube? This is immediately like Eternal Darkness.
I want to borrow it. I actually
Absolutely,
I want to block out time and play that one.
Yeah, we should stream that one because I'd like to play through it again too.
Tom, would you rather hear about a successful game or a failure of a game or...
I'm feeling yin and yangy. I just did a positive. I want to hear a not so positive.
Okay.
Or wait, did you just... Oh, Georgia Cerberus. I guess that was... I want you to be happy. You do you, okay?
Well, we'll talk about an odd one then.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to talk about...
Level 5.
Dark Cloud for the PS2.
Dark Cloud.
So, young Bradley. I would say I was maybe a sophomore in high school. Maybe even probably like a freshman. I could barely drive my own car. And
Do you need a phone book or something?
Yeah, that's what it was. I was working at a grocery store, and I had enough money in my bank account to purchase a $300 PS2 and a game and a memory card. And my mom gave me specific instructions. She said, you're not allowed. You can't do that.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I have a car, and I can drive to Watertown, South Dakota, an hour away. I can go to the
There's
bank.
another Watertown.
It was my first time going to the bank and withdrawing. I was like, I want to get $300. And they're like, okay. It's like, what? It worked?
Do you see me? I can barely drive a car.
Yeah.
Why are you giving me this money?
I was sitting on the phone books, and
Love it.
there's a trailer on for a commercial on TV for Dark Cloud, and it was just the graphics. I think this was the game that made me get a PS2. It just looked so next gen compared to the PS1.
Cell shaded, right?
Not cell shaded. The Dark Cloud 2 was cell shaded.
Okay.
Dark Cloud 1, at the time, it looked phenomenal, and I didn't care what it was. It looked like an RPG action thing.
Yeah.
And
I will do check this out.
So
this was on my radar too, but never got it.
I got it, and I tried to play it. I got through maybe like the third or fourth dungeon or castle or whatever. Like, you call them dungeons. And I think there's like 6 of them because you get a new character every time.
Yeah.
The dungeons, they randomly generate, and there's some cool concepts in there, like your weapons break down. And it was just not fun. It was a slog. They did have like a SimCity almost style. You acquire things in the levels, in the dungeons, to like remake a village. And so you're like putting buildings where you want, and certain things you have to make sure work. But to me, it was all about the graphics. And I picked it up, just excited for the next generation system, and I was let down.
I'm sorry.
I still have the game though, and I like looking
at that came out. That was kind of received somewhat positively.
I think it was one of those. It just looked good for the time.
Sure.
Just like how Symphony of the Night was hated on release because they wanted something that looked different, and then they realized
Those people are dumb. I knew right away that was a good game. I would have. Yeah, Dark Cloud. I do remember just staring at that box for a long time. Usually when I go into a game store, I'm like, do I get this now? Should I buy it? And I just never did. I think something else is always kind of higher on my to buy list.
Yeah, I heard Dark Cloud 2 is supposed to be pretty good, but I haven't played that.
Okay, yeah, I think that's the one that was, like you said, that was cell shaded. When I saw the graphics for that one, I was like, or the screenshots, I'm like, yeah, that looks really good.
And isn't that weird? I didn't even like Dark Cloud 1, but I saw the second one came out, and I just have an affinity for the series, and it made me want to initially, like, I should buy that. It's like, wait a second, I don't even like
But you didn't.
I didn't, because I didn't like the game, and that was...
You're an asshole.
There was a period in my life where I just wanted any RPG, so I have, like, The Last Remnant still, which I played for maybe 10...
Oh, yeah.
I played for 10 minutes, and I was like, what?
What, dude? All right.
Yeah, pick up that one off the ground. I want that one.
Yeah, let's talk about, all right, how much of a fan I was of LucasArts games back in the day, especially the Tim Schafer, the adventure games like Full Throttle, Day of the Tentacle, Monkey Island. I love those games, Brad.
Yeah.
Psychonauts.
I have the Psychonauts VR thing. I haven't played it yet, but I bought like the new Psychonauts.
I like to try that out actually.
Yeah.
Someday. And I think Psychonauts 2 is coming out somewhat soon.
Oh, really?
Ish. Anyways, so when I heard of this game, Brutal Legend, from the Double Fine Studios, headed up by Tim Schafer, I was pretty ecstatic because it starred Jack Black, right, as a kind of a roadie. And I'm like...
Who doesn't love Jack Black?
Who doesn't like Jack Black? Tim Schafer is he headed up this game. Great writer. Like, just, I knew it was going to be funny as hell. But I played the game. And it has some really good production values. Unfortunately, it is a real-time strategy game that is not very good.
Brutal Legend is a real-time strategy game?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
It looked like a hack and slash.
Dude, they got Lemmy, Ozzy's in there. The soundtrack is amazing.
It's a real-time strategy game?
It's a real-time strategy game. Yeah. It's not a good one. And I'm not a big fan of real-time strategy games, but I can, respect them. This one is actually straight up not good.
I'm upset.
Yeah.
How did I not know that? I just watched Jack Black play it on Jablinski Games, and it didn't even look like. He's just probably showing like the.
Probably. You can ride around on your motorcycle, like ride around, the world, which is fun.
What a strange concept. A heavy metal. We're going into the underworld game that's RTS. That seems like such a hack and slash God of War type.
Yeah.
It seems obvious, right?
Right. But I mean, if you're like a metalhead, the aesthetic is great because all your units are kind of play into the whole concept of being, the old, like late 80s, fucking, rock and roll. Mm-hmm. But yeah, unfortunately, it fell short. I had to peace out on it like early, and it made me sad. But at the same time, I'm like, this is not good for me. And it starts out so promising. Like the early parts of that game are just so funny, and yeah, unfortunately, but the soundtrack is really good. So, Brutal Legend, disappointment.
We're gonna go over now to what I would consider a major high.
Oh, baby.
There was a point when the Xbox 360 was just clearly the king and doing some amazing things.
Sure.
It had BioShock, it had Assassin's Creed, Halo 3. It felt like the next generation of video games were here, and you could tell there was a substantial difference between what was before and what was after. Mm-hmm. And there was this game called Mass Effect.
This little game right here.
Mass Effect, I went in with high expectations, and it still manages to blow me away. Crazy, right?
I'm blown away.
Amazing story, the way you interact with characters, the way you make choices.
Yep.
You have the Renegade option. And it seems a little straightforward now, but back then being able to choose whether to go in the front door or go up the stairs, little FF7 callback, but with serious character ramifications, you have to send characters to their death. Certain characters you can completely miss. And it's hard to separate the other entries in the franchise versus one because it's one story to me. But there's long ramifications for some of your decisions. They made it seem like a big deal in the first one, and they kind of backed away from that because they didn't want to scare people away from the third game that didn't play the first two.
Very controversial, that third game.
The third game, I think it has some of my favorite.
I've played through them all too, so yeah.
The third game has one of my favorite moments, just like as a cinematic video game experience, when you're fighting. I think you're saving the Krogans, and it's right before you have to go kill the Solarian scientist or not kill him. Mm-hmm. But you're charging towards that, and if you have saved, what's the main Krogan character's name?
Rex.
Yeah. Shepard. Rex is the guy that you're working with if you saved him in the prior game. And there's this point where those giant sandworm things just come out of the ground, and it feels like all hell is breaking loose, and it was so incredibly cinematic. The Mass Effect franchise, those first three were all amazing. The story got a little wonky for a while, and I think 2 is kind of a polarizing game.
I was a fan. I thought 2 is great. 2 for me stands as one of the games of that generation.
It's got almost a Temple of Doom likeness to it, where it feels very standalone, where a lot of the things that happen in 2 doesn't mean too much in the third one.
True.
Yeah, we're building a team, and then they built a team, and then there's this giant human
the end, the final boss.
Yeah.
Okay, that was fucked.
I didn't know what was going on.
I'm like, where did this come from? Why did this turn into Terminator 9?
Mass Effect 3, the ending, it says you have to choose, and I didn't know that they didn't explain it properly. I didn't know I was choosing an ending. Because you have to choose which color to run into.
The little boy did not make it clear. Spoilers. I'm sorry.
Yeah. The Mass Effect franchise, I guess it's like sprinting to jump off of a cliff into the water, but you trip last second, so you kind of fall and you stumble in the water. I love the series, and the first one,
Me too.
I remember just talking to every character and being so engrossed with the different alien species and just learning about the universe. It was fascinating, and I felt like a game. I think it felt maybe more that like there were more ramifications. There were more things happening because of my decisions than there actually were. I perceived there being a lot, but to have a game where you could make those decisions was new to me. And Mass Effect 1 definitely delivered. And that's like a glory day. Like the Xbox 360 had a real good year or two.
Sure. I mean, I remember playing Mass Effect when it came out, and I really liked it a lot. I thought the Mako sequences could go suck a bag of dicks.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry. The Thresher Maws.
2 bags.
Yeah. That's a double dose of dicks for you.
Yeah.
But the first one plays so differently than the other two. And the first one has a bunch of jank to it that the other two don't have.
Yeah.
But which makes it kind of special. I always kind of wish that they would finally go back and remaster the trilogy and either make the final two more like Mass Effect, which is more like a BioWare straight up like Dragon Age like RPG, or go and make the first Mass Effect more in line with 2 and 3 and make it more of like a shooter.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean?
I'm surprised that there hasn't been a Mass Effect HD collection released yet. And also where they just finally made Mass Effect Andromeda. Where they finally just made it the right way. Oh man.
So
this game has been
high to
this game has been on sale on Xbox Online for like $8 forever. It's not a sale. That's just the price.
That's
okay.
That's
the price we have
after
now.
2 days on the market. That's what they reduced the price to.
I beat this game.
I still like to play it though.
I beat it and it's fine, but I played the heavily fixed version.
Sure.
I'm very sick of the bug testers just being the regular public instead of they hire people.
Right.
I didn't hate it. I mean, it wasn't good, but it was weak. They didn't have a lot of new races other than like 1 or 2. The story was weak. Some of the world developing was fine.
Get so weak in the knees.
But for $8 or whatever it is on sale, that's purchase online even.
Shit. It's bona fide.
That's bona fide.
That's not bad. Okay, $8.
I got like a 30-hour experience for what is the price of one craft beer.
Right.
It's the fancier ones, granted, but
don't drink those.
I judge everything money-wise in beers. It's like overcooked
Brand
DLC.
economy.
Overcooked DLC, that's $6. Well, that's one beer. I was like, I can afford a beer.
Right.
But yeah,
You can.
You got to think of it in, price points. Mass Effect Andromeda is not good.
And there are articles. You can go online and just read hours and hours of content about why, that kind of failed. But I always heard that at least the combat is good because it uses that Frostbite engine that all the Battlefield games use.
Bless their hearts.
Yep. All right, baby. So I'm gonna go on with an OG Xbox, the real Xbox One game, Chronicles of Riddick.
Oh yeah.
Escape from Butcher Bay. You ever played this game?
I've seen Pitch Black.
Okay. See, I had never seen Pitch Black when I played this game.
That's awesome.
And it was really fucking phenomenal. Made by Starbreeze. I think they're a Scandinavian company. It made me care about Vin Diesel, and it made me feel cool being Vin Diesel. It's like a first person. It's not a shooter. It's like a first person, almost adventure kind of game.
That's cool.
Where there's a story you're following, and don't ask me what the story is now, but I do remember I was really hot on this game, and I don't know if I can say too much more than that because it's been a while, but I remember
it's been a while.
Oh God, and the combat was really good, and the graphics were fucking awesome. Xbox. This is one of those games that like really flexed kind of the Xbox power back then. Like this game and Splinter Cell were like, if you only had an Xbox and not a PS2, you could like look at these games and be like, yeah, take that.
I remember when that game came out. I haven't played it, but I have seen both the Chronicles of Riddick and Pitch Black.
Chronic what calls
of Riddick. Pitch Black, I remember being a good movie, but
That was a good movie. I did see it subsequently, and it was good. Yeah.
there were reviews that they pretty much said it's actually good. Yeah.
Wait, keep reading. We're good.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Any
Yeah, I
game
believe
based
it.
on a movie, the default is it's not that bad. But this one's like, no, it's good.
It's amazing.
Which is great. And I haven't played it, but I've heard a lot of good things.
What about the other? Wasn't there like the Riddick with the one with Judi Dench? Wasn't she in like the second one where they tried to make it like a universe?
franchise or something? I forget.
Does anybody know? It's okay. All right.
I want to talk about that the game in the blue
Oh,
case.
Courtney
you have
liked
over
Brutal
there.
Legend Convo. Good. I like the Convo too. I like the Brutal Legend Convo as well.
We like the convo, Courtney, but Tom wasn't hot on the game.
Yeah, I like
Spoiler
everything
alert.
but the game. I wish I could just like go watch the cutscenes and just talk to Ozzy and Lemmy and.
The opening, like when it's like a record shop and Jack Black just puts the record on.
Yeah, that's
What
right.
a cool opening.
That is. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the record, and then you get that's like the menu. Yeah, I totally forgot about that
Tom,
shit.
I want to talk about your blue case you got over there on the couch.
The what?
The blue case?
Oh, the blue case.
Yeah.
This might be a controversial one.
I
think I got another one.
I
that's
want to
pretty
talk
controversial.
about that.
Oh. This one?
Yeah. I can talk about this one,
All right.
but I want you to.
Okay, so all right. We go from Vin Diesel, which I don't know by the grace of God was actually like a really good game, to a PS4 game exclusive called Horizon Zero Dawn that I don't want to say I disliked it. I thought it was fine, but it did not live up for me personally. Gameplay. I love the story. I think the story is very interesting. But the gameplay itself just was not. I was like, I can't wait for the sequel because I think they'll improve a bunch upon a lot of things. But while I was playing this game, I just wanted to go and play Assassin's Creed Origins because I'm like, I want to play a game that how I think this should feel right now.
Did you play Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild before this game?
No. Well, yes and no. I played this for about 2 or 3 hours before I played Breath of the Wild. They came out like
But you pretty much beat Breath of the Wild before you beat that one?
correct. Yes.
I think that might have shaded your experience a little bit.
Oh.
I don't know, maybe. Because
It might have, yeah. It could have.
They feel very similar kind of gameplay-wise.
I was not comparing in my head. I was not comparing this to Breath of the Wild. I was comparing it to like Assassin's Creed.
I was comparing it to Shadow of Mordor when I played it.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I mean,
I thought the world building was mostly really cool.
yeah.
Although her name being Aloy, like Alloy, it's like, come on. Pass. I don't know.
Yeah.
You could have done better on that one.
Yeah.
I really dug the universe and the post
Absolutely.
the post apocalyptic world, like the robotic animals which have learned to like evolve on their own.
I think all that stuff was freaking awesome.
And it was when you see like a robot alligator with like a weak spot, and you can see it because of like the color of the machinery and the different arrows. It felt to me like another. It almost needs its own genre of like open world adventure exploration. I don't know, Shadow of Mordor, Assassin's Creed. They're all in very similar universes. There's a lot less climbing in Horizon Zero Dawn, but
There is.
Yeah.
'Cause, I don't think is there a jump button even? I can't remember. But I know like the gameplay for me devolved into the same, just every battle was like this, pretty much the same. I used the same equipment like the whole time. And it was just, I don't know, it wasn't very fun. There were a lot of stealth sections, and I remember you couldn't like sidle up to a rock or a tree. You know what I mean? Like you couldn't just like hide behind it.
yeah.
You could only just like kind of park yourself behind it. And there were a lot of like stealth sections that just didn't feel right. There was something about it that just didn't feel right. But don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed the story. It was unique. It was like probably one of the freshest.
It's a fresh universe.
Very fresh universe, which was nice to see. So that's why I'm really hot. I hope this is like one of those Assassin's Creed 1 to Assassin's Creed 2 situations where 2 just fucking knocks it out of the park, fixes all the complaints. But a lot of people really liked Horizon, and I couldn't get it over with fast enough. So that was me.
I was mostly high on it.
Yeah.
Just stoned.
Snorting that fucking Aloy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I just almost immediately knew this is a game though where I'll finish the story, but I'm not collecting all 245 feathers or whatever
Right.
those things are.
Yeah.
Whatever the
God.
collectibles are,
Yeah. No. Brad.
Yeah,
what we
let's
got
talk
here?
about another game here. I have 2 other Final Fantasies and 2 other Halos, but those are a little more obvious. I got a Batman Arkham Knight,
There you go.
and this was a very hyped game. The Arkham series. This was like
Ooh.
the trilogy, the finale. And even on the cover of the game, they have the Batmobile featured very prominently, which was a divisive part of the game.
Not good.
I personally, I didn't mind the Batmobile sequences gameplay-wise, but lore and universe-wise, it didn't just
I agree.
fucking make almost any sense.
Dude, I totally agree.
The Batmobile like moving sideways and
Totally.
just tank battling.
You turn it into a tank. Yeah. I did not. Yeah, I did not hate them with the vitriol that the internet did,
Yeah.
and I thought some of them were actually kind of fun and unique. And I don't know, that was just me. But I think one of the problems was you went from Arkham City, the game that came before Arkham Knight, where it's an open world and you can fly anywhere. Mm-hmm. And then in the third game, they kind of restrict you after, having a whole game of where...
What do you mean they restrict you? Because I remember being able to fly anywhere.
You need to use your fucking Batmobile for this mission. Go ahead.
I like the driving sequences though.
Yeah, those are fun.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah?
But it almost seems like, okay, so the second game, they should have had the Batmobile in the fucking second game. And then the third game was this complete, I'm going to fly everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
The second game was the
flipped it
first
on
one
its
with
head.
like flying though. Because the first one, you had a few gliding sequences.
gliding, you're right, gliding and grappling, but you were never in a car and you could get everywhere just by...
Think of how ripped Batman is.
He's so ripped.
He grapples to a building, just holds on, flies over the top, and then he holds his arms out and flies down, and he grapples again.
Yeah. God damn it.
That dude is just
He
holding.
just does things, you know what I mean?
I can't
just
even imagine.
Does things. But
Arkham Knight, I really enjoyed the game. I enjoyed the gameplay.
love the story.
The story was cool. It's not Robin. It's not going to be one of the Robins.
That was dumb. Up to that. Right.
It's a new character. Everyone's like,
Remember Jason Todd?
yeah. You have a pretty good Joker.
Well,
There was a lot of really pleasant surprises in that game. I remember the first time that you're just kind of casually flying through town and you grapple up at a building and the man bat just like reaches over.
Yeah.
That was
cool.
Like my first genuine scare since maybe Resident Evil 1, where it's like, you don't expect it.
No one expects the man bats.
The man bat. They brought in some fucking strange characters. They had like that pyro mosquito dude or whoever he was.
Oh yeah, Yep, I know what you're talking about.
The best
There was
moment.
some good sequences with
The
that.
best moment in the game for me was, because I'm not like heavy into Batman lore, was the character Pig, who is just a serial killer who turns his people into living dolls, like turns the victims into living dolls, and you're chasing a serial killer and you have to track him through music, and you
Oh, I forgot about that.
you
Yeah.
find his place. Granted, the boss battle with him might be a little wonky, but just having this Batman fighting a serial killer called
Oracle.
the Pig.
Where's the pig?
Yeah. I like. It's one of those things like you mentioned with Assassin's Creed. You like just running around the universe. I just liked driving around in the Batmobile, or you just shoot up
Sure.
and you can fly around.
And that's fine.
And
It's fine,
I
Brad.
swear to God, in my life, I am never going to get every Riddler trophy.
All 870,000 of them.
Yeah, God bless Gerard the Completionist, who does it on the regular difficulty, and then the legendary one that's unlocked afterwards. You have to do it twice.
You're insane, sir. But thank you for your sacrifice.
Someone had to do it.
Yeah.
Not me.
Dude, I think I feel the same as you. I did enjoy that game. There's some really cool moments. Like one of the first things you do in that game, not a spoiler, is you send the Joker into the crematorium
Awesome.
just to like say,
What a
no,
sequence.
he is actually dead.
And I love that the first time you play it, when you send him in the crematorium, he just dies. If you play it on the extra difficulty, I'm mostly sure on this.
Okay.
Mostly.
Yeah.
In fact, I am. When he goes in the crematorium the second time, he starts laughing right where you think he's going to just like...
Oh, that's cool.
Because he's like in your head at that point.
Yep.
Yeah. Although it seemed a little bit, the Joker's dead, but they still kept him around, which is cool, but it would have been... It's like George
I
R.
don't
R.
know what you're
Martin's...
talking about.
George R. R. Martin, he said when he was reading Lord of the Rings the first time, the Game of Thrones author, when he read Lord of the Rings, he's like, when Gandalf was killed, it was like my favorite thing I've ever read. Because your superhero, your star of the team, like he's gone, and now what?
But don't worry.
Something that you're sucking the power away, and then but it's okay. He's back. It's a little too easy, I think, to keep a joke around. If they had done something,
Gandalf the brand. Yeah,
Gandalf the brand. Oh man, he's a tree now.
he is. But just a funny anecdote about Batman, Arkham Knight, that came out for PC and was just universally lauded as like one of the worst PC ports of all time when it first came out.
Yeah.
It was like locked at 30 frames per second.
I remember.
It wasn't even at like 1080p resolution. It was just horrible.
Hot garbage.
It was hot garbage. It was not good. But I had just bought a graphics card around this time, and that came with Arkham Knight. And I was able to say that it ran like shit just so I could get a free copy of Metal Gear Solid 5, a game that I'd never played. So, hey, it worked out in my favor. And they patched the game, and it looks gorgeous.
Before we get to our next game,
Yeah, let's do this.
we have our last beer.
Oh baby,
It's from Raised Grain Brewing Company.
who's Ray? Raised grain.
Raised Grain. They are, of course, out of Waukesha, Wisconsin. Here.
Yes,
This is out of your fridge, Tom.
it is. This is from my buddy Bill, my coworker, homie, Mr. Bill. Thanks a lot, very much. It's been saving this for a very special occasion. We thought we'd partake in it this evening. So
It is a imperial stout brewed with cinnamon and bourbon barrel aged coffee beans. I've had this beer before.
You would.
Expectations. I know I'm in for a treat. I love me like a big old sweet bourbon barrel beer.
You would.
And anything with cinnamon, it's like, yeah, sign me up, Mr. Toast Crunch.
oh god,
Yeah.
cinnamon toast crunch.
And then Tom, I think here, let's have these drinks
Please,
first.
it's time. What are you drinking out there? How are the Bucks doing? They're a basketball team.
Yeah. I hope
In Wisconsin.
I hope they're winning right now.
Yeah. Don't worry. If you don't know who they are, it's fine. Oh, it smells good.
Yeah, it's great. It's phenomenal. You get a nice big
that's really
cinnamon
good.
flavor. It's boozy enough to like warm you up.
Bill, thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
We toast you. Whatever. Yeah. Wow. Damn it. So I think we're winding down here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we want? Well, I think I only have like sad left. I think I have one happy. I have one happy and two sads left. What would you like to hear about, Brad?
My bladder has one more regardless.
Only one?
Yes.
Did you get two? Two in you?
If we do a quickies.
All right.
I'm skipping. While he's grabbing, I'm skipping Final Fantasy 12 and 13 and Halo 2 and 4. Good, bad, good, bad. Okay.
All right, gotcha. All right. I just want to give a shout out to the Neogeo Ex console for being complete fucking garbage.
Oh, I was going to cheer with you, but it was bad. Okay.
Oh, no, it's
I've never
horrible.
heard of it.
It's horrible. It's like a handheld, dude. Yeah.
What?
It's not good.
Handheld Neo Geo?
It-
This is a handheld system?
It's a handheld system with a docking station. It's like the Switch before it came out. This came out in like 2012. But I'm a Neo Geo guy.
It looks
through and through. All right. Never had a Neo Geo except for like a big MVS cabinet. I wanted the home console, and this thing came out, promised to be like a cool handheld. Yeah. So the handheld quality is all right, but the video output, it was just shittily fucking made. It's got it was a complete disaster for me. So, but for some reason, these things are like going up in fucking price on eBay.
They're rare.
So, I guess that's cool. But maybe it's not so bad anyway. All right. So, finally.
A fitting title.
It is. I was not hot on this game. I don't know if you heard of it. It's a PS3 or PlayStation exclusive called The Last of Us. I thought that it's a Naughty Dog game. It's a Naughty Dog game, but I thought that it was a great story. But I thought the gameplay. Have you played this game? I thought the gameplay was not great. I don't think it was anything exceptional, and people were just circle jerking themselves when this game came out.
I played through like the first third or half of the game, and I remember just being like, the gameplay sucks. The story's kind of fun. But
Yeah, I mean, it's not a happy story, but yeah, it starts out strong. You know, you want to see the story through, but people are saying like, oh, this is the game like of the, generation. Not everybody, but there's a lot of that talk. It's definitely considered one of the top games of the generation, I think, universally. But I was never, I don't know, I'm just not a fan. And I tried playing again on the remaster that came out for the PS4, and I just kind of fell off of it. I'd rather play Uncharted 2, I guess.
Electric Boogaloo. I beat Uncharted 1, didn't play Uncharted 2. But
Oh, man, come on.
I have the collection.
I got the collection.
Tom, I gotta edit the videos.
Dude.
Dude.
I'm sorry it's taking you away from your Uncharted time, you know what I mean?
Last of Us, I remember it being fine, but it's like I'd rather watch a movie or I'd rather play a game, and it seemed like they were trying to just kind of be in the middle too much.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely has some good moments, but I just found the actual, I'll say it again, playing the game was just, I just wanted to get to the next cutscene, move the story forward. I didn't really care about playing it. And that is my hottest take out of any game that I would say I didn't like versus what the world says is good. This is probably the game with the biggest disparity of kind of like my take on it versus what people say I should feel.
Fuck Final Fantasy 13.
Oh God, fuck it up its ass.
Fuck Halo 4.
Fuck it up its ass.
Fuck Halo 5.
Wait, Halo 4 was okay. I didn't play 5. I thought Halo 4 was good. That was like the only Halo game I played.
Tom's
and I'm
drunk.
The Didact.
The Didact.
That's all I remember. Graphics were good.
Yeah. My bladder's telling me no, but my heart's saying keep podcasting.
Oh, come on, Brad. Brad, you're doing great. You're doing great. So, do you want to go before this turns into like
I think we should just
an unrated episode?
follow us at Hot Dog Cast on your Twitter and Instagram. Or is it just Hair of the Dogcast on Instagram?
It's Hair of the Dogcast on Instagram. We've got some followers.
Our Instagram's like a week old. We're getting there.
Yep.
The Twitter, it's coming along. Facebook, definitely follow us there.
Yep.
We're building things.
Yep, Hair of the Dogcast. Check us out. Hot Dogcast on Twitter. Thank you guys for your support. All your suggestions have been great.
I'm Loaf of White Brad on everything.
You're everyone's loaf of white bread.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Tiffany, you are cool for drinking a bourbon barrel-aged wine. Never had it, but that sounds cool.
Ooh, Tiffany.
Tiffany,
you're cool. That's right.
You're cool.
Feel free to email us at ahairofthedogcast@gmail.com. We'd love to read your stuff on the air, and we can answer questions. We can talk things, you know.
We should do a viewer question Q&A thing.
Should.
Yeah, we should do that sometime soon.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
We'll tease you. If you want to start sending questions, you sure can, but otherwise we'll do it soon.
Yes. And stay tuned for, depending on when you're listening to this, stay tuned for next week. We'll probably be dropping more videos.
Yes, maybe even tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll drop one for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on. They're good. Check them out. Check out the ones we did drop on YouTube or Facebook or whatever. So I think Brad's got to pee.
I got to pee.
So bad.
Happy Hair of the Dogcast,
All right.
everyone.
And on that note, we hope we were not a disappointment for you this evening.
We weren't a disappointment. You loved us. We know it.
Oh, God.
You guys love us. We're hot. We're the new shit.
We're the new shit. We miss Josh. Josh will be back next time.
We miss you, Josh.
Stay cool, brother. All right. Take care, everybody.
Peace
and
out.
From here, the Dogcast, we love you.
We love you.
I'm going to press the button. I don't know what button I'm going to press, but I'm going to press the button. I used to do this all the time, but I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
Because it's